Isn't that what I always say in the beginning of every video? Uh, uh, it's going to be a neat video. At least I hope so. Um, there's a premise that I've actually lived by my entire life, and that is if you see really stupid people saying something is awesome or praising it, then you're absolutely guaranteed you should run in the other direction. Wow. Now, it is true, and I've said this many times before, and this is also true back in photography school when some of the best photographers on earth would drop by, and, they've maybe only ever used or owned like 6 lenses, but those 6 lenses, they worked them, and the results are undeniable. However, there are better options or better value, better output, and, wow. This is about the worst lens failure. Now, Nikon's made a lot of shitty little zoom lenses, and so has every other company, including crappy prime lenses. However, I've talked about this endlessly in the past too. What makes a prime better than a zoom? You ask me, why is a prime better? Because it's a prime. Well, it doesn't answer the damn question. Why is a prime better than a zoom? Well, because it's a prime. They don't know. That, however, has been negated recently. A lot of the destruction of modern photographic lenses has been due to button-sniffing assholes, okay? And I really mean this. I don't mean it jokingly. Button-sniffing assholes that want absolutely no distortion, no vignetting. They want nothing. However, at the cost of producing that type of image, things are sacrificed. It's kind of like if you get a bunch of ribeye steaks, and it's like, I don't like that ribeye. Like, why? Well, it's got too much fat on that side, and yeah, but it's a ribeye. There's going to be some variation. You're going to have to deal with that. Same thing with a filet mignon. It might have too much marbling. I'm giving steak analogies here. And just imagine you were to take all those ribeyes and just throw them in a big meat grinder and just send them through a meat grinder until you ended up with something that was like a McDonald's hamburger, which is a really nasty beast of a piece of meat, right? You can make any awesome piece of meat taste like crap if you process the hell out of it. So a lot of modern photographic lenses have been destroyed, not by the companies, because a lot of the older guys have retired, but by all the button-sniffing assholes that want absolute no vignetting, no chromatic aberration. I want no purple fringing, even in high contrast. It's like, well, okay, we're going to have to keep adding elements to remove all these things. You end up with a piece of tofu. I don't know about you, but tofu is some disgusting filth. Anyway, this is about the Nikkor 105mm f1.4. I thought after a year, it's been almost a year since I've been ranting about this lens, I thought I'd take a look at some of the images that people have been rolling out with this lens. I mean, they're absolutely atrocious. I don't care how good a photographer they are or they aren't. I tested this lens myself. I posted up a bunch of test samples. For $2,200, you get a cheap Chinese shitty lens that is like a plastic chew toy. It has swirly bokeh. It has horrible cat's eye. These aren't my opinions. These are facts. Swirly bokeh, cat's eye bokeh. There's a issue with doing portraiture on this, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. You get horrible, the worst micro contrast imaginable. It's a 14-element lens, $2,200 of Chinese junk. Everyone is shooting this lens at f2 and higher to get halfway decent results. Well, if that's the case, then just get a goddamn 105mm f2 lens, which is far superior, far superior better quality, and far less money. I proved this in black and white micro contrast test examples. The lens is cyan shifted, it has poor saturation, bad subject isolation. It's just a horrible goddamn lens. It has a washing machine effect, which is related to the swirly bokeh. I mean, if I want swirly bokeh, I could spend $40 on a Russian Helios lens. It has a micro motor. You don't even get a true silent wave motor in this turd muffin of a $2,200 Chinese plastic piece of crap. The horrific, I call it two-faced syndrome, unless you actually, and you don't find portraiture like this, where someone is absolutely, both eyes are equidistant to the plane of the sensor. No, I mean, it's like this, or, one eye is one way or the other. This two-faced syndrome that you get, and I've seen so many pictures where someone's smiling with this lens and someone's shooting them at f1.4, and none of the eyes, neither one of the eyes are in focus, like the teeth will be in focus, or the tip of the nose will be in focus. And these are the people that actually drop the autofocus point on the eye. Who knows what sort of camera they have, sometimes like a DF or whatever. It was just very slightly off, the tip of the nose will be... And people are like up clicking these pictures. Like, wow, what a great shot. It's like neither one of the eyes are in focus. But if one eye is in focus, if the head is just slightly askew like this eye will be in focus, and this one over here will be totally blurry. You get this warping effect, wondering if you're actually having vision problems, because this side of the face is out of focus, and this side of the face, well, this side of the face isn't in focus either. Only this part of the eye is in focus. Up here is too far from the plane of the eye. The images look like shat. They look like dog shat. A big giant pile of dog poo. This lens is crap. Absolute utter crap. Nikon made this lens as an ego trip. Nikon was too busy asking if they could make this lens as opposed to should they make this lens. And that Nikon's been proclaiming now for the past, we got the fastest 105 millimeter lens in the world. Well, good. Another thing that actually proves that the dumbest people on earth, by the way, are on diaper review. And it's okay to be ignorant. It's okay not to know. But if you're ignorant and you're absolutely certain you know what the hell you're talking about, then you're an idiot. So some of these people have only ever owned 6, maybe 10 lenses at most, maybe used a dozen lenses. It's amazing, these stupid, brain-dead idiots praising this lens over on diaper review. It's like, how many lenses? This lens is awesome. I don't know what the hell that fat tattooed idiot's like. How many lenses have you owned? Well, I've owned like a dozen lenses. Well, how the hell do you know? You've never owned or tested that much stuff. The people praising this stuff is like some idiot that's been in jail their entire life, and they're praising like the lasagna we get on Thursday. It's just really awesome. It's like, how the hell do you know? You know, you've been in jail your entire life. You don't know what the hell a real meal tastes like. It's the same thing with these lenses, and it's okay to be ignorant, but don't sit there and tell me a piece of crap is just super awesome because you've not tried that much. It's ridiculous. This lens is a piece of crap. The Nikon ambassador, which I don't fault him for his photography, the guy is an expert at Photoshop. Oh, he's having a hissy fit. People have told me in the past couple days, 2 people's like, you know, I saw some information on that Nikon ambassador. He posted some really crappy stuff. I haven't even talked about this Nikon ambassador who's peddling in sleaze, by the way. I haven't even talked about this Nikon ambassador or this horrible lens in nearly a year, and yet just a couple, 3 months ago, you know, the guy's still posting it, which I don't care what the hell he does. The issue is that I had 1,000 witnesses, well over 1,000 witnesses, to showing that this guy actually switched photos. Which is fine. He could do whatever the hell he wants with his shots. That's not the point. The point was you're representing these images as having dropped from that lens, and that's not the case. The images are dropping from your damn hardcore Photoshop skills. You know, so when someone buys a damn lens, it's like, this lens comes with so-and-so Nikon ambassador's hardcore Photoshop skills. There's no lens that comes with that crap. That was the only thing I was bitching about. So this guy's actually peddling in sleaze and filth, and now all his images, most of his images from this lens, gives in the information on his Flickr page. Because this is my personal page, let me read this here. I do reserve the right to delete comments, and I haven't commented on any of his pictures. There's no question about his photographic skills. However, I don't like his portraiture at all. Delete comments from angry photographic charlatan internet trolls. I'm an internet troll. No, my entire point was, and this idiot. I'm actually going to call this Nikon ambassador, you know, a fool, because I never questioned his photographic skills. However, he is a mouthpiece for Nikon. Okay, so when we're talking about this guy, we are talking about a puppet for Nikon, which is okay, you know. Nikon has, what, 13 different ambassadors? Hey, Nikon, I got a question. Do you approve of your Nikon ambassador peddling in this sort of sleaze and filth? I don't get paid by anybody. I've made Nikon a lot more money than this Nikon ambassador. A lot more. You know, I know he's an ambassador for Nikon, but I can guarantee you, even the people that hate me are like, you've made a lot more money for Nikon than this Nikon ambassador has. When I reviewed the Nikon D500, I made Nikon many, many, many millions of dollars within a month or 2 period of time, because mine were the sole reference on the Nikon D500. Countless, many, many tens of thousands of looks on my review on the D. Just that camera alone. So, but I call them as I see them. You know, no company rolls out pure gold. Nikon's rolled out some turd muffins. And this lens is a disgusting turd muffin. And it's okay if you're a Nikon ambassador. But Nikon, do you approve of this sort of sleaze and, vile filth? I never even questioned this guy's photographic skills. He's obviously a master of Photoshop. But my point is that even this Nikon ambassador, a year ago when I was complaining about this, where he heavily, and I have all the proof in the world, edited the hell out of these shots. He drew in eyebrows, he took a picture of a baby, and he saturated the hell out of it. And the reason he did that is because this lens is so crappy, and it bleaches the images because it's got just really crappy, poor saturation and poor micro contrast. He had to do that to make the images look, to his eye, pleasing. You see, this is what this idiot photographer doesn't get. And he is an idiot, not because of his photographic skills or his Photoshop skills, which are obviously God-level Photoshop skills. What the hell he doesn't get is the fact that I'm pointing out that people are looking at those heavily edited images, or at least they were, before he got caught. And thousands of people, thanks to me, caught. It's like, you just switched images. People were looking at these images and thinking, well, this lens does this sort of out. No, you're looking at this guy's hardcore Photoshop skills. That's my damn point. So, that level of stupidity. It's like your Photoshop skills are great. Your photography is fine. Hey, you're a Nikon ambassador. Nikon is really picky, so they picked you for a reason. We know you're a puppet on some level of Nikon, and that's also okay. My point is that this lens sucks. This guy knows nothing about lenses, and I met some of the best photographers in the world, and most of them have never used more than a dozen or so lenses, if that. My point is that this guy doesn't know what the hell a good lens is if it bit him in his butt. And that's the mistake that you and all these other idiots out there, like on Diaper Review, don't get. It's like, well, they're highly acclaimed, world-famous photographers. Their work speaks for itself. That is all so true, but that does not mean there's a direct connection between them knowing what the hell a damn good lens is, or a better lens at a better value. There's no damn connection there. So anyway, this is my rant, once again, after a year's period of time, as the worst piece of dirty filth, and it's okay for Nikon to roll out a piece of dirty filth, lens to roll down the block, is $2,200 of unadulterated plastic Chinese crap. It's junk. The output is horrible swirly bokeh, cat's eye bokeh, horrific micro contrast, cyan shifted, disgusting saturation, bad subject isolation, washing machine effect compositionally as far as background bokeh. It has a micro motor instead of a true silent wave motor, which is a cheap piece of junk. A silent wave motor is basically flawless. It has no moving parts that can grind or slip or gears or anything like that. This lens sucks. It absolutely sucks. And yes, I personally did test it. I post pictures like a year ago. I don't have me link them. You can look through my Flickr page. Look through any other buddy's Flickr page. But be warned, if you find something good, make sure you drop it through image forensics, because someone has likely edited the piss out of it in Photoshop or Lightroom, or both. So, that's my rant against the Nikkor 105 f1.4, a piece of junk if ever there was one. Congrats to Nikon for rolling out this overpriced plastic Chinese chew toy that has some of the worst horrific, disgusting output straight out of camera. I don't give a damn what camera you mounted on it. Mount this lens on. It's a piece of crap. Thank you for watching so much. I give unbiased reviews on lenses because even if you hate me or you love me, I guarantee you I know more about lenses than you do. You think that's egotistical? That's okay with me too. Thank you. Have a nice day. And happy 4th of July to fellow Americans out there. Bye.